What's up, everyone and ladies? My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Had the Powers of Multiverse Teleport. What does that mean exactly? Well, Multiverse Teleport is basically let me try to think. So it means that he can, every time he takes damage or dies, he gets teleported through the entire multiverse, and he comes back like nothing even happened. Like, basically, if he dies from All For One, literally, bash his head in, like what Omni-Man or whatever that guy's name from the Invincible, was, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Zuko was pretty powerful. So once it's awakened, and there's a downside to it. It takes 10 years off of his life. Basically, he could be 5 years old. Then because I don't really do not know the math correctly, so it would be taking away his lifespan thing. Basically, from 5 years old to 15, if he used it one time. So yeah, that's only through teleport thing. But if it was awakened, then he becomes basically a same thing as that alien from Ben 10. Not like what you're thinking. Alien, it would be like him, but instead of having these galaxies all over his body, they're the multiverse. It I can't spell, so it's hard. And it's basically having the entire multiverse, of Earth surrounding his body. Entire galaxies. So yeah. So now, let's begin. But before, let me get back to the one that My Hero Academia and Zumi. And I know that the people that created My Hero Academia will end their episode stuff or season. But I really hope that they redo it. But not as as the Naruto, Number 2. Oh, one. And no, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just the Naruto one, the original one, is actually awesome to me. But the number 2, the Boruto or whatever that one is crud. And I only said crud, not the anything else. So let's begin. I'm also adding Zumi, you could tell. So Zuko and Zumi were born. And yeah. Zuko was basically, or so they were at age of 3. And but in this universe, let me re-clarify this up for you. In this what if universe is not canon. Let me repeat myself. It's not canon version. So whatever I do in this, or whatever I say in this one, is not like the anime or manga. Because some of you guys, I said some of you guys, that was like watching my what if as death or got married to Tachimi or whatever, her one, was that it wasn't like, I never thought about it as in an anime or manga. It was a completely different one. Because I understand that there's this one that's like, oh, it didn't happen in anime or manga. Well, this is not anime or manga. This is the what if universe stuff. So yeah, not trying to be mean. It's just to clarify things up. So whatever I say in this what if is its own version of canon. Its own separate, because it's a alternate timeline version. So like everyone on, or all those YouTubers that make what ifs, they have their own canon versions of their what ifs, and so do I. So, or in their own creation. So, let's begin. So, Zumi always, or she was born with so in this world, there's 3 categories. At a moment. So, the first is quirkless. Quirkless is on the bottom, where they can't do nothing. Absolute nothing. They can't go out in public. They can't even eat. And it is very cruel. One. So then, number 2 is quirks. They have a limit of their quirks, or they can do stuff that are limits. And then there's powers. Ours category, where the power category is like you could do everything as you wish. And there wouldn't be any backlash to it would be like the quirks, but it's on a whole nother level. Plus, yeah. So Zuko actually did something that created a fourth line after he was born. So I'll get into that later. So now, let's begin. So, at age of 3, at age of 4, they go to a quirk doctor's thing, and Zuko, the quirk doctor lied to Zuko about him not having a quirk, but then, and told Zumi that she has a quirk, and she has fire manipulation, and and reason why I'm talking really loud than normal is because on the other one is like, can you speak up a little bit more? Because, yeah, it's not because my fault. It's how I talk. This is how I normally sound. But I know that on your end it's probably like the volume is a little bit lower than a normal one. So Zumi ends up, so everybody, but like abandons him and like unfriends him and all that stuff. So Zuko was like, okay. As Zuko was under so much sadness for being quirkless. But then he thought he was going to take his own life. But then, when a blade went in, or when he got stabbed, he closed his eyes, but the next minute, he was on top of a building. He was like, and he was trying to, because he was in a hallway, or not a hallway, but he was in a dark alleyway, and then he did that. Then he ends up on a roof of a building in New York. As Zuko gets up, and guess where he was, like, teleported at? He was teleported, or Zuko teleported to the Space Needle. I know. As he looks down, as he's confused why he's not dead. So then he still had the knife thing with no blood on it, as he stabs himself again, as he teleports again. So he's now 25 years old, because he did that twice. But I keep forgetting to, like, do something more. Or there's this other one. It's not a downside, but it's an upside to it. Countering it is that every time he drinks water on her or showers, it takes away that negative part. So basically, one time, so when he fell, no, he teleported to the ocean as Zuku's had, or when he showed up on land, he had the 20 years was taken away from him. Like, basically, he was no longer 25. He was now just 5 years old. As he's, like, trying to figure out why this is happening to him. Yeah, doing your math. So he learns about this power when he was 5 years old. He hasn't told anyone. So then he didn't even tell his own sister what powers he has. So when he walks towards the park, sat down, or actually he sat on the sand, as a portal opens up, purple portal, and it was Kirigiri's portal. And so what came out wasn't like Kirigiri, it was I always put quirk doctor. As the quirk doctor walks up to Zuko, slowly, and sat next to him. So he told Zuko the truth of why he said that. First of all, let me get that out of my system. So, young Midoriya. Young Midoriya. It's good to see you again. I know that your parents abandoned you because they fell for the lie. My lies. Because you were not just a quirkless person. You actually had something that I never imagined. And that would be, well, you actually have not just a quirk. You have a quirk and you will also have the power. So what is my quirk? As Zuko looks over, well, your quirk, Zuko, or young man, is Infinity Zero. Both of those two are powerful by themselves. But with your power, you could shape reality. You could do everything in your whatever you want. But you were a new one. Because there's, as he explains what categories are, the first one was the quirkless that Zuko wasn't in, actually. He just said that, or he lied to Zuko about it. Or he lied to Midoriya's family. But he really just put in a new tab on it called both. So, yeah. As the Quark Doctor tells the Zuko the power that you have, every time you get a scrape or getting killed, like injured or killed, you end up getting teleported and you're just fine. But it takes 10 years off of your life. So, yeah. And so the Quark Doctor says, and you're the only one that I know that broke the... As he looks at him, I know it was you that broke or added a fourth Earth. Or one. So Zuko was like, me with both quirk and powers? Yes. But congratulations on figuring out that you were lied to. So yeah. So then now. So let's keep it to ourselves, shall we? Yes. And he looks over at Kirgiri and tells him that don't tell the All for One. Do not tell him that. Okay. So then... So then the quirk... So the Quark Doctor goes back as the Zuko starts training by himself of how to use his full powers. As he could feel everything is going through him. So when he showed up back at home, his parents never really talked to him about anything. What I mean by that is that he really hasn't, because his parents let me tell you, his parents hasn't really talked to him. Really hasn't talked to Zuko. Oh. As Zuko learns how to control the powers, as but when he fell asleep in his own bed, he kind of feels this weird pulse. As both his powers and his quirks created a new type called abilities. So basically, he created or he actually did tell the quirk doctor that when for kids that have, or for both, he says, how about ability? Let's see, that would be quite cool. Okay, yeah. So then Zuko ends up being, Zuko. He ends up being, so he fuses. So when he fell asleep, his body, or his quirk and his powers fused into one, created a most destructive force. And it was called the multiverse. So yeah. So he still can take damage, but it would be like similar. But he's now immortal. And plus, on top of the, because he has a immortal power, or multiverse power, or ability, it basically, because he can also gain alternate versions of himself, like their powers or abilities. Like he could gain, let's use one of the what ifs guys. Maybe Void. The Zuko version of Kirigiri, the Void. As he could teleport by using his arm to, like, teleport. But he can, when he drinks water, it gets rid of it, like clears it out. And you're all probably like saying, well, does it mean that because every time from now on, he goes through a multiverse, gains a power, and when he drinks water, the power gets erased. Does that mean like the entire universe where he left that from erased? No. Well, the it doesn't really affect the multiverse thing. Like the void is, I'm using the character, what if Deku was like the Nomu version? His entire planet would still be safe, and plus he's unharmed. But yeah. So when Zuko, the next, or so a time skip. So Zuko walks around, and he the he's like a So when he goes to school or quirkless school, and when I remember what I said earlier that the quirkless aren't allowed to do anything. Well, they can still go to school, and that's it. They can go to school, comes back home. That's it for them. So, yeah. So Zuko was keeping it on the low side for the longest time. So then So then let's do a time skip to All Might versus All for One. Reason why I say that is because it's because I don't want to go over the boring parts of but off screen, I'll just say that. Off screen, like the way off, Zuko actually ran into a gang of thugs things. Or sellers, should I say. And they were selling a trigger. So, or not really selling it, they just gave it away. Like, here you go, kid. Here's a 10-pack for you. So then, So then Zuko says things. So then So, and plus, because he has the abilities thing. Because normally it would, because Trigger in this universe, can boost a quirk up. But then he did try it on a powered, actual power one, superpower thing. There's quirkless, quirked, and power or ability, or powers. Or they did try it on powers, but then there was now they haven't tried a one with abilities, or with So Zuko ends up. So now time skip to All Might versus All for One. All Might was down, but not out. As All for One's like, you're so easy to defeat. Not even your master could even defeat me. As Zuko was just walks down, or actually he was watching TV before, but he was so distracted as the Zuko or as All for One shoots a laser, as Zuko actually did stab himself accidentally, and it teleported him just where? In front of All Might. As he gets up, he turns around. As corner of his eye, he sees the attack aimed right at him. As he got shot in the face. And he turns to ash. Like a pile of ashes. As the only things that were left was his shoes. Yeah. So All Might was like, no! Kid, no! And then All for One's like, he's a poor sap. Or before he even said sap part, his entire head got knocked out. Like, Zuko just straight up hits All for One's head like a grinder. Yeah. Mask was like broke, and Zuko says, now, as his chainsaw leg did do that, as he says, get this dead corpse out of my way. As because where he got that power from is a new what if that is called What If Zuko had a power of long chainsaw. It's a fusion of Luffy's is like Sanganika has fruit, or gum fruit, that's what I always call it, gum fruit, with that guy from Soul Eater, where he turns into a chainsaw. Well, yeah, so when he whips around All for One's entire corpse thing, Zuko, or actually, All for One was actually in his prime before. And Zuko just like, zoom, 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 zoom. And Zuko was like, that was fun. As he puts shoes back on. As they could not believe it. They looked at him and they're like, what the heck? As Zumi, let's say Zumi got captured this time. And Zumi, or everyone was watching this. Yes. I should give some credit to, as Zuko says, I should give some credit to the Quark Doctor to keeping this from, or thank goodness. As his secret was disposed, but he really didn't care. As he told them that, I have more power than the rest of you, so, So, Zuko tells them that I have the abilities. He's like, because his powers, ours, was to, teleport without any, I gain powers from this universe or that universe. And so the guy's like, wait. So All Might's like, wait, you're saying that who have the abilities, as a voice comes out of nowhere. That is correct. Zuko's has the multiverse one, where it allows him to teleport. I haven't told any of you, or I lied to all of you, as Quark Doctor says, or to the Midoriya's family. He was born with a quirk and the power. So, when Asashi heard that his own son was born with not just a quirk, but also a power, and it evolved into, or like fused into, ability. Deep down in his back of his head, and he also was grinding his teeth. He was so ready to kill the Quark Doctor, or making the Quark Doctor pay for why he. So, yeah. And Zumi was like, wait, so the guy, he says that you have the ability now? Yep. Every time I get injured or killed, I teleport and it's like nothing even happened. But it takes 10 years off of my life, but that's a little bit okay. That was before, it was powers. But now it evolved into the abilities. And so the government decided, you know what? This kid we never really, he's the first kid that actually reached the abilities category as in history. So then the government promoted Zuko to, because he was born with ability. So they did clarify that up. We all hold things to our Zuko Midoriya. He created the first ever new line between, or not line, a new rank. And it's called the abilities rank. So they're like, man, abilities? Holy crud, I never heard of that thing. So they explain that the abilities is similar to or is a combined fusion of the quirk and the power. So they do way more stuff. When I say way more, I mean way, way more. than just a, yeah, without any limits. So everybody's like, whoa, okay. So then people who, like him, him, he was the first born with a ability. So everybody's like, holy crud. Yeah. And he did had friends before, but then so then, but now, let's say Bakugo, Todoroki, Ochako, were like, because they used to be his friends, but then when when the quirk doctor lied to him and they became his friends, then Bakugo and Zuko, or not Bakugo, Zuko, but and Bakugo, Bakugo who walks over, and he did apologize. He's and tells him that we're still friends. It's just no matter what. So then Araka says the same thing, but she sees herself like how because I know that you guys are probably like saying, oh, this one's not in canon version, or Ochako, who that I'm going to talk about, is not from the anime or manga, but she is a different kind. There's a variety of alternate versions of Ochako. There's boys ones, girls ones, weirdo ones, like rest. But Ochako in this what if that I'm talking about is like Boa from One Piece, where she really didn't like guys first, but then the Zuko, or actually, she didn't like the quirkless people. She likes quirks people, but then the whole like, the yeah. So, but then when Zuko finally told them, or actually they finally found out about it, then their friend, or so then Zuko became the first one. So then Ochako, she was still in love with him, no matter if he was quirkless or quirked or powers. She didn't care. Zuko to her is like her own teddy bear. Like, she wants to always be with him at all times. So, now, so then she finally confessed her feelings for him. And, yeah, after Todoroki and the rest of them apologize to him, that, yeah. So then he ends up, like, dating Ochako. They were dating before, but Zuko didn't realize it until Ochako finally told him that that she actually had a crush on him before. Sorry. Yeah. So when she did, and then she did tell him that they're both were like gonna get married thing. Yeah. And so it was a time skip, so yeah, so then they are 18 plus, so, or no, 18. I always like to say 18 plus because it's just absolute annoys anyone. So then, so then both of them got married, and she basically had a lot of kids. And plus, Zuko is a mortal, so so he pretends to, like, because he, yeah. So it's in the future. So yeah. So and so you're all probably wondering, whatever happened to his sister, Zumi, Doria. Well, Zumi got married to, or actually before, of course, Bakugo and Todoroki. They always had this like weird argument. And the reason why I'm like doing that sound is because I'm cleaning out my throat. So yeah. So Zuko, or no, so Todoroki and Bakugo always argue behind Zumi's back, basically because they love her to death. And so Todoroki says, all right, finally, let's ask Zumi. Him. Okay? And Zumi says, ask me what? As Todoroki finally, or Bakugo and Todoroki says, who would you date, Zumi? Or who would you get married to? Me or him? As they both said at the exact same time. And they point at each other. As she's like wondering, and she's trying to think. Because she's in this weird, like, she's in this, like, little situation where she's trying to decide of who, no, but, yeah. So she's like, as she's like, she's embarrassed. Because when Todoroki and Bakugo, when they weren't around her, she has the pictures of both of them. Both Bakugo and Todoroki. It's like that one scene where there's a picture on here, or on the, that has, it is Toga with bunch of pictures of Zuko Midoriya. It's like that, but instead of Toga, it was Zumi, and instead of the pictures of Zuko, her brother, it was pictures of both Bakugo and Todoroki. And because as she's blushed away, like she covers her face, as the Zuko, so basically Zuko, so Bakugo and Todoroki were like, is that too deep of a question? No, it's just as she's too embarrassed to say. But as she tells him, or tells him that, or she finally told them that she would rather marry both of them. Because it's her choice. So, yeah. So, Zuko, no, not Zuko. Zumi, I keep saying Zuko for a stupid reason. But, yeah. So, Zumi tells Bakugo and Todoroki. And Todoroki and Bakugo are like, that's a surprising answer. You choose both of us? Yeah. Yeah. Is there something wrong with that? No? So then Todoroki and Bakugo agree, and they both date her, and they both got married to her. And, yeah. She had a lot of kids. And like 3 girls, 3 boys. Yeah. And they all have a similar hair colors and all that stuff. Yeah. So then yeah. So, yeah. Wow. I didn't, And thank goodness, it takes 1 hour. Yeah. Sorry about that. So, peace out, y'all.